Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo, and today we're going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors. Now, I really wanted to postpone this video as much as I could because I don't think that this team is. I think that this team could still bounce back, but simply because of the way that they're playing right now, it makes me think that it's probably going to stay like this for a while, even if it's not till the end of the year. And that's what we kind of just look at this team, and there's just a big concerns that I really have, and I just need to talk about this as well as I can without being kind of like haterish like I was last year. I want to make sure that I want to be as like unbiased as I can because I do think that there are just some problems with this team that I just that just need to be talked about, and let's just get into it. So Curry's having a monster year, no doubt about it. Oh well, it's right here. So he's averaging 69% from the true shooting or from true shooting percentage, and he's averaging 31 points. I'm pretty sure this is actually updated after the game. I could be wrong though. Actually, this is not including the game that that just played. So he's actually above 70% true shooting, and he's probably averaging closer to what 33, 34 points per game, maybe 32. And this team is still 69. I'm pretty sure he only missed 1 or 2 games. So even then, they're still in a losing record. Not only that, but this team just hasn't looked good on defense at all. And it's just a really big concern if you're a guy like Steve Kerr, if you're a guy like Draymond Green, like they are top 10 offense, like they're literally losing more games than they are winning. It's crazy. Not only that, but their expected win loss is kind of ridiculous at this point. If we're doing championship odds, I don't think that they should be nearly as high as here. I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are the Brooklyn Nets still up here. The Clippers maybe because actually Kawhi's coming back rather against Detroit or the game after. That's gonna be something to look at. Hopefully Kawhi is actually not having a huge setback. If he does, he's probably cooked. But overall, I do think that the Warriors are not looking nearly as good as they probably could have been. Now, what are the main reasons? I think I've already talked about this. I think I've already had a Warriors video, but it was more so just saying, yo, just calm down about them right now. But right now, they are one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. One of the worst passing teams in the NBA in terms of like turnovers. They're one of the worst defensive teams, as you can see. Like they are allowing a lot of field goals. They are allowing a lot of 3-pointers too, and they're actually making it at a decently high clip. Not only that, but they're giving up probably the second most points in the NBA. I'm pretty sure. Yep, they're giving up the second most points while they're scoring the only fourth the most. And looking at it like this, bro, they're even though they're scoring 117 points per game, they're still losing by 1, and that shit is actually like absurd to think about. Not only that, but when they faced up against the Phoenix Suns twice, they've got blown out twice, despite Curry having a 50-point game in this one. And it just shows that this team may not be what we want. And I don't know what's happening right now. Well, I do know a couple things that are happening, but it's still very concerning to see. Now, first things first, the defense is falling off. What are the main factors for that? I would say it could be one thing, like a couple of things. A coaching decision, a lot of coaching decisions. Two, Draymond Green may have fell off a little bit in terms of his like production. Andrew Wiggins is actually fine, but I think the biggest thing is definitely Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson just not being who they were last year. Klay Thompson not being who he was. I would say even 2019. They are just kind of cones at this point. Jordan Poole is honestly not contributing that much to the Warriors roster at all at this point, especially if he's averaging not that good numbers from the field. I would just say at this point, it's just not looking the best for him. Yeah, he's not averaging the best numbers. It was very similar to last year, but I would still say that, he averaged better numbers going towards the end of the season. But still looking at it, getting a 0 for 5 performance, 0 for 3 is like not what you want. Even if he's passing a lot, I don't think that this is necessarily like the peak performance from Jordan Poole. Not only that, but he's just like a cone on defense, as I've said before. Not only that, but their bench is just not filled with defenders at all. Like JaMychal Green is not the best defender. I would say Dante DiVincenzo is actually a really good guard defender, but honestly, I don't think that he's necessarily the best like player on this team anyways. I think that he's not a scoring threat at all. Even if he's shooting like decent well from three, I don't think that he's necessarily that good. And Jonathan Kaminga, he's just too raw of a prospect at this point. Like I don't think that he's actually going to contribute major minutes to this team. And I think that's something really to look at. Not only that, but this team is just so short when they have Jordan Poole, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson on the field. If they have those three on the field, bro, like DeAndre Ayton is going to like grab like 17 rebounds. Like it's gonna be crazy. You know, Torrey Craig grabbing this much rebounds is kind of nuts. Even a guy like Mikal Bridges, I would say even like Damian Lee. Damian Lee doing this is like nasty because he was on the Warriors last year, and they're just getting out rebounded, which is one really key part of defense that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. They are also just not like the best offensively, even outside of Steph Curry. Like Klay Thompson is a really, really bad shot chucker at this point of his career. Again, Jordan Poole's not doing enough. And I would say with the combined efforts of Jamal Green, Anthony Lamb, and Dante DiVincenzo going, 6 for 21? This is horrible. Like this is just bad. And if I was a Golden State Warriors fan, I would definitely like be concerned. Now, what could they do to fix this? What could they do to fix this problem? There also shout out the Game of the Year possibility of what's it called? God of War. I haven't played the game yet, but I do love what I saw from it. That being said, going back to this, what do the Warriors do from here? I think that there's like a couple decisions that they have to make. Now, these are decisions that they probably should have made earlier when they were really just looking at the whole thing. But the Warriors need to realize one thing and one thing only is that they have one timeline. Kenny already made a video about it. I'm pretty sure Rusty Buckets already made a video about it. Actually, no, not Rusty. What's his name? Swish Out made a video about it. They need to decide whether or not they want to, prioritize the younger players because at this point of their careers, Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson are on two completely different levels than these guys. And I'm not just talking about like a on the court production standpoint. I'm talking about like experience standpoint. I'm talking about like are they ready to play standpoint. And honestly, I don't think that they're ready to play like that. And for that, I just don't think that this team necessarily needs to play these younger guys. Like Moses Moody is all right for right now, but like this guy, Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman just don't look like NBA ready players right now. And that's not to their fault. They haven't played that much even in the system. But even outside of it, bro, like I don't think that they're going to get enough shine for them to really just be what they want to be. I think that the picks that they chose, I just don't think that they really needed it like going forward. And honestly, it's very concerning to see how this team is probably looking because they just didn't trade those picks. And personally, I would say that if they were to like do something with those younger players, trade them, I don't really know what they could get in return because they would have to like give in salary filler. But there's no one that they could really just give off in this team because they all just like the people who make the most money on this roster are like Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson. Like they would have to give away Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins. And then James Wiseman. Like James Wiseman's contract is kind of like nuts. So is Kevon Looney's. But like I don't think that you can really get rid of them. Like what can you get rid of for like James White? Not only that, but I think you should probably like put in picks for both of those teams. Or for both of these players if you're going to trade them. And I just don't think that they're going to. So that just leads me to the question. Like what's the point of this at this point? Because if you're not able to get rid of both of these guys, I don't think that you're able to really just capitalize off of Curry's chances because Curry is he's number 4 in offensive rating. This dude is number 4 in offensive rating. That's insane. But they're still losing these games. It's crazy. Overall, though, if you ask me, like I would just trade James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga. I would maybe consider doing something with Klay Thompson. Not necessarily just a trade, but maybe bench him. If he's actually gonna like still shoot this much, there's a good chance that that's just like a thing with Klay Thompson that he's just gonna do for the rest of his career. And I'd be sold out of it at this point because you can't be shot chucking like you can't be shooting up 15 shots a game and making this much. Like you just have to be more considerate with the ball. Last night he had like an open Wiggins in the corner, yet he still just shot a really bad three, and honestly, it's not worth it at this point. All right, so Curry's shooting like 33. All right, but like for real though, I don't know what this roster is. If I were to say like the panic meter, red being like the most like, oh, you need to like sail ship at this point, and like green being, yo, you're kind of cool right now, or more so blue. I would say that this team is like a yellow orange. I would say that they still have like time to really just mess things out. They had like a really bad stretch, but that was more so, or last season, but that was more so because people were injured like in that kind of time frame. But this is like horrible, horrible. Like everyone's healthy right now, so that's something to look at. So yeah, it's been your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo. I'm probably just gonna end the video off right here because I've just been rambling. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great one. If I were to say something, the Warriors are at an orange, yellow right now. They could still do something, but they just need to do it as fast as possible because if it hits red by like the time it gets to 30, 40 games, they're still like a negative 500 team or like a below 500 team. I just think that this team may just be locked into a lot of these contracts. And after that, once they're locked into Jordan Poole's contract, it kicks in next year. Once they're locked into Klay Thompson's contract, or not Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins' contract, they may be like cooked because the only like other contract that's expiring is Draymond Green's, and I'm not sure if they're actually gonna bring Draymond Green back, but even then, like they still have Klay Thompson for another year, and I just don't think that this team will look nearly as good if Klay Thompson's still here, and if he's actually like this bad going into the next couple of years. So yeah, it's been your boy Nehemiah, aka Neo. I hope you guys are having a great one.